Lil Wayne, the Carter 6 album review. Let's talk about it. How y'all doing, guys? Welcome to Let's Talk About It Music Reviews Season 11. How y'all doing? Welcome to the show, guys. We got a great episode for you today. It's a little windy outside, I will admit that. I'm very sorry about that. But guys, Lil Wayne has dropped his new album, The Carter 6. He dropped it like last week. I was getting ready. We did some single reviews, we did some other reviews of some other songs, and now I think I'm finally ready to sit down and let's dissect this whole album. Let's talk about this whole album. Guys, before we get into this album review, as you know, we're going to go over 3 overall points of how I feel about the album, and then after that, we're going to go over every single track and rate every single track out of 5. So guys, we got a lot to talk about today because this album, The Carter 6, is 19 songs long. This is over an hour long. It's not Morgan Wallen. It's not 2 hours long. I wish it was 2 hours long with Morgan Wallen. It was actually 3 hours with fucking Morgan Wallen. So, it's nothing bad like that. It's not like Playboy Cardi or nothing. It's not 40 songs or whatever. So that's a good thing. Guys, let's go over this album. Starting off with the first point. We already got to get into it. Let's talk about the production of this album. One of the most disappointing factors of this album, I will say, is the production. I really think the production just feels very lackluster. Just kind of feels a little soulless, in my opinion. Trap beats don't really feel like trap beats. Trap beats feel very underproduced. There's moments where the bass just kind of feels like it's not even there. Like it's turned down so much. Some of these beats, I feel like the volume on some of the snares, the drums, the bass, the 808s, it doesn't even fucking matter. It could be a guitar, but I just feel like it's turned down. There also is some moments on this album where we get some, switch-ups that don't really make sense. Now, look, I love switch-ups. I love it when switch-ups are done right. But this is the instance where switch-ups are done very wrong. And switch-ups just don't really have that same feeling. I'm listening to a rap song by Lil Wayne. I'm enjoying the rapping. I'm enjoying the song. And then midpoint of the album, it completely switches to a complete rock song. You even got Lil Wayne singing. So there's moments like that quite often on this album, which is a little confusing for me. I don't know why for the Carter 6, we want to go crazy with the different genres. If you're going to go crazy with some different genres, at least go crazy and do it right. Lil Wayne, in my opinion, wasn't doing it right at all. Production just feels very stale, very lackluster, very kind of whatever. Just some of these songs, like Sharks, with Jelly Roll and Big Sean, that instrumental, that beat, guys, that sounds like it could be in a car commercial. This beat could be made in a goddamn commercial. That's how lifeless this beat feels. That's how lifeless this beat sounds. There is moments like the intro track to the Carter 6 where that production feels so great to listen to. Those drums kick in, that sample is really working in the back. There's so many moments where you just don't get that on this album, which is pretty disappointing in my opinion. Now guys, let's move on now, because not everything is the production. Even though the production was one of the weak parts on this album, I will say this though, my next point is going to be Lil Wayne's performance. Look, Lil Wayne had a pretty okay performance on this album. Some tracks I just feel like he was just doing it a little bit too much in my opinion. It's just, some of the rapping is very offbeat. Some of the vocals on this album are very offbeat, don't really sound that good in my opinion. And also the fact too that, we got to get into the next point, which is the features. I don't know what in the hell happened creating this album, but having a Jelly Roll feature, having a Big Sean feature, having a bunch of pop features that just don't really make much sense for this album, I'm gonna be real, guys. What the fuck are we doing? What are we thinking? It is 2025, and we are just putting features that just don't even try. Jelly Roll's fucking hook is laughable. Big Sean's verse is the best verse off this whole album, which is saying fucking something because it's Big Sean. And then there's features where I'm just like, I guess some of his kids were like featured in this. Like there's like this like Playboy Cardi like type feature on there that just does not fit the whole album at all. It's just like, what are we goddamn doing, guys? This album is so strange to me because it feels like, you know, it wants to go back to the Young Money days. We want to go back to the rap, hip-hop. There's even tracks like called hip-hop. And then you listen to the album and it's like, oh, there's not any goddamn rap tracks on here. I mean, half of the fucking music is just pop music. Why? Why are we calling something the Carter 6 and we're doing something completely different? Look, guys, I know artists have to push the barriers, but this isn't pushing the barrier. This is pushing ass. This is pushing shit. This is pushing, what the fuck am I listening to? You know, it just doesn't make any sense. It's like when I reviewed Eminem's album. Like, what are we goddamn doing? Have we literally have lost the passion of making music? We just want to put some commercial features on there and call it a goddamn day? Like, what are we even doing? Guys, very disappointing in my opinion. But now let's get into all the damn tracks. We're going to review every single track off this album. Starting off, and we're going to rate that 1 out of 5. Starting off with King Carter. This is actually not the intro. This is like one of these like voicemail tracks, so we're just going to skip that. Welcome to the Carter is the intro track. And Welcome to the Carter is a great intro track. Production just feels so great to listen to. Lil Wayne is rapping his absolute ass off on this track. One of the best intro tracks I've heard from an album in quite a while, which is why I'm so disappointed as this album goes on. But Welcome to the Carter is going to easily get a 5 out of 5. Then we got Bells. Bells. So production sucks ass. Like, this beat feels like it's been put into like a garage band. And then we have Lil Wayne just kind of rapping really badly on this song. The hook sounds bad. Everything sounds bad, in my opinion, on this track. 3 out of 5. Hip Hop featuring Big X the Plug, Jay Jones. I was really disappointed with Lil Wayne's verse on here. It was just kind of nothing. Big X the Plug also, too, just sounded so off-key, sounded so off-beat on this whole song. Like, this production, hip-hop, did not fit Big X the Plug at all. Like, this sounds like a fucking sad song. And then Jay Jones, who the fuck even is Jay Jones? This shit was ass. Like, 3 out of 5. Sharks featuring Jelly Roll and Big Sean. Now, one of the big things about this song is that I do think Big Sean had a pretty good verse on here. In my opinion, you know, Big Sean did his thing on here. But Jelly Roll didn't do his thing on here. Lil Wayne sure did not do his goddamn thing on here. So I can only give this, I can only give this so much praise as it deserves. So I'm gonna give it like a 3 out of 5. Band From No. I guess we should talk about the Band From No remix. You know, these two songs just kind of suck in my opinion. Nicki Minaj did her thing, I guess. It wasn't the best verse from Nicki Minaj. And Lil Wayne from Band From No, it just wasn't a great rap performance. In my opinion, the beat just felt very off. And then the next track, Band From No, and the remix is just going to easily get a 2 out of 5. The Days featuring Bono. This is like some pop track. The hook is god-awful. 1 out of 5. Cotton Candy featuring 2 Chainz. Oh man, I hate reviewing 2 Chainz sometimes, because 2 Chainz hops on tracks like Cotton Candy and completely disappoints me. 2 Chainz rapping was just okay. Lil Wayne just wasn't a good song. Lil Wayne's performance just wasn't good in my opinion. The rapping was off. The rapping wasn't goddamn hitting. The flows stayed the same. I mean, what the fuck am I listening to? Jesus. This one's an easy 1 out of 5. Flex Up. Flex Up is an okay track. You know, the production's not too bad in my opinion. But I wouldn't listen to Flex Up on my free time. I'm just being real. Then we got Island Holiday, which is the next track. And Flex Up's just going to get like a 2 out of 5. Island Holiday might be the worst Lil Wayne track I've listened to in recent history. The singing is so goddamn bad. The beat is so goddamn bad. The production just is laughable. The vocals from Lil Wayne, Jesus, what am I listening to? 1 out of 5. The Wind is unhappy with Island Holiday, and I am too. Loki's theme, even a worse song. This track, terrible production, terrible vocals, terrible goddamn flows. Like, I sound like a broken record. But what the fuck is Lil Wayne doing on this track? I mean, holy hell. Somebody help this man. Somebody get him off the goddamn drugs. Because what are we creating in the goddamn studio? Loki's theme is a terrible goddamn track. 1 out of 5. If I play guitar, this is like some rock song. And Lil Wayne's, singing badly with the rock song. I mean, even the wind. Even the goddamn wind is disagreeing with this shit. Because look, the guitars feel like they're like loopy guitars. They don't even feel like real ass guitars. So it's like these electronic loops that just fucking suck to listen to. And then you got Lil Wayne singing terribly on this song. 1 out of 5. Peanuts to an Elephant. This is the one where I think he says he'll do like a blowjob or something on this track. Oh no, not Peanuts to Elephant. This is the track where he would drink somebody's pee. Again, I have to say it. The production sounds like an elementary fucking song. The beat sounds like something I would listen to if I was like 2 years old. I mean, ain't this guy almost 50 years old? What the fuck is happening? 1 out of 5. Rari featuring Cameron Carter. This is the one with his kid. This is a terrible feature. His kid sounds like a knockoff Playboy Cardi, but worse. And then Rari is just a bad song. The beat is very uninspired. I mean, Jesus Christ. 1 out of 5. Mariah featuring Andra Bosi, Whistlip Jean. I can't pronounce these features, and I'm not even going to try to because these features sucked ass. They're just some basic ass pop features. And then you have a shitty ass verse from Lil Wayne. 2 out of 5. Being Myself featuring Manny Fresh. This is another terrible ass pop song too. Manny Fresh did not add anything to this song. Just made the song so much longer to get through, so much more ass to listen to. And then Lil Wayne doesn't even try on this track. And I think there's also even like a beat switch where it turns into a goddamn rock song. I mean, what are we goddamn doing? 1 out of 5. Moolah Come On In featuring Lil Nova. Lil Nova sounds fucking ass on here. I mean, why is Lil Nova even on this song? Lil Nova added nothing to this, just made the song longer and made a terrible song to get through even goddamn longer. 1 out of 5. And then we got the track Alone in the Studio with My Gun featuring MGK, Kodak Black. Kodak Black had the most uninspired, one of the worst Kodak Black verses I've heard in a long time. Then MGK giving one of the most boring ass fucking emo ass hooks. Like, if I wanted to kill myself, maybe I would put this song on. Maybe I'll put this song on if I want to end my life, because it sounds that fucking ass. This track is an embarrassment. I don't know how Lil Wayne created this track and not felt embarrassed at all. This track is just terrible to listen to. 1 out of 5. Even the wind agrees. Fucking 1 out of goddamn 5. And then you got Written History. Again, another track where Lil Wayne is rapping with the same flow, rapping off beat. The beat is not hitting. What is this ending track? but it doesn't have any bad features, so I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Guys, when we talk about the Carter 6, this is probably one of the most disappointing albums I've heard in 2025. This might be up there with one of the worst albums I've heard in 2025. And for all the people in the comments of this album, and all the people saying, oh, y'all just don't listen to this album enough, you got to listen to this album a few times. I would rather be dead than listen to this album more than 3 times. Guys, I got to the 5th track. To the 5th fucking track. And thank God this is my job. So I pulled through and listened to the whole thing. But guys, the 5th track, I was already tired of this album. I was already pissed off listening to it. I was already done listening to it. From the 5th track, that's how bad this album is. This should be, honestly, this should be a disappointing album. This should be a disappointment to whoever created this. Whoever the producers on this album should be fired. Like, this shit is god-awful. Guys, I can't believe I have to give Lil Wayne such a low score today, but I've explained why, and I've explained through the singles, through the album review, why this album is ass. Overall, guys, I did not like this album. I'm just going to give it honestly, I'm going to have to give it a 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10, guys. What y'all think about it? Did you hate it like I did? Did you dislike it like I did? I don't know. Let me know. Guys, if you're on YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, wherever you get your podcast at, make sure you follow, turn on notifications, guys. Thank God we're done talking about Lil Wayne. Hopefully some other music comes out, for New Music Friday, because Lil Wayne was definitely a disappointment. I'll see you later. You have a good one.